It's now time for Health Alert. Today we talk about autoimmune disorders and we focus on lupus. I'm sure when you hear lupus you think it's a foreign disease. Well, it is something that a lot of Ghanaians are battling with, but a number of them do not even know because the signs and symptoms show as fever and every ordinary disease that we think of, and so anytime you have lupus you may not know until you hit the end stage. But we talk about lupus today and what one woman's resolve is helping to change the course of time, and then draw awareness to this silent killer, I'll call it. And so today I've been joined by two people, two amazing women. Well, it's still a day after Mother's Day, so we're still celebrating mothers. Mrs. Madanso, we call her Sweetness. She's the founder of the Oyemam Lupus Foundation. We also have a person living with lupus, Mavis. Good morning, ladies. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing? It's been such a long time. After 20, I'm not sure I've seen you again after 2016 or 2017, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But how's the foundation doing?
The foundation is doing well. Always as a young child, you learn to grow. You fall, you rise. You learn how to take care of yourself. So it was birthed in 2016 and we have been growing steadily. And so I would say we are making steady progress and still raising the awareness. By God's grace, I believe since we started with the lupus awareness campaign in 2016, we have contributed significantly to heightening awareness in Ghana, helping people to know how to connect the dots and seek early treatment or early diagnosis. We have referred countless people to the rheumatology clinic and also help people learn how to cope with the condition and navigate through the different phases of it. We have counseled numerous family members and relatives on how to deal with
lupus.
Family members going through this challenge, because in as much as patients have the physical pain, their relatives and those who care about them also feel the pain physically and the financial aspect of it. So yes, we're still looking forward to having more support from our policymakers and giving us supportive policies that will help with lupus care in the country.
Now, Mavis, at what point did you know that you had lupus?
October.
Oh, last year?
Yeah, that was the last year. Yeah.
How did you know? Was it something that you went to the hospital to ask about, okay, I think I have ABC, so maybe you need to check out for, or the doctors themselves decided to test for lupus?
Yeah, they decided to test for the lupus because I have joint pain, I can't walk well, and I can't, do a whole lot of things for myself. So we went to Kobenya Hospital. That's where they detected, a senior doctor, the consultant, detected that I have lupus, so they have to refer me to Kolebu. Yeah, can't eat, can't do so many things for myself.
So how long did you experience these symptoms?
The symptoms was off and on, treated, and you will be fine. But that was October, that was severe when I have to be transported not to the places that I can walk to, but I have to sit in a vehicle to the place.
Wow.
We are assisted by my dad and my sister. So
So when you found out you had lupus, what were you told? Okay, so you're going to live with it for the rest of your life, or at some point you can be treated. Is this something that needs to be managed? What were you told?
Yeah, I was told there's no cure. So the medicine that they give me is for it to manage it, not to bring it down lower
to the barest minimum.
Yes, yeah. They just say lupus. So I had to go to Google and find out how the lupus, how it's come about, a whole lot of things. But they'll just tell it, the doctors will just tell you that you have lupus.
You have lupus.
Yes, so
did that scare you?
No, it didn't scare. Yeah. So I have to read about it before getting more deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah, about it.
Yeah. But how did your family take it?
Not kindly. Not kindly. Yeah, no. They say, where from this sickness also? Where?
Did you at some point think that it was spiritual?
No.
But nobody in your family ever suggested that,
Yeah.
Nobody?
Yeah. My dad was a health worker, so and he was telling me that for the whole 40 or 36 years he was working, he hadn't heard of lupus. So he also read more about it and understand. So at first maybe it was a shock, but now we read and by the counseling, so okay.
Yeah. Is it financially draining?
Very, very, very draining. Because I think the test that you will be run, they'll take your sample, your blood sample, and send it to either South Africa, China, or India to confirm that you have the lupus. So it's very, very, and the medications, the therapies, a whole lot of things. Because your system is breakdown. You have to go and see the eye specialist.
It's autoimmune.
Yes. So
your body is fighting itself.
Yes. So today you'll be fine. Then you have a problem with your eyes. You have to go. The doctor have to refer you to an eye specialist. You are not working with physiotherapy. You have to go there. A whole lot of things. So it's financially draining. Serious. Yeah.
Now, so how did you get in contact with Emma? During your readings, you saw somebody doing something about it?
I volunteer with an NGO called Dolls Foundation. Okay. So that's where we were linked to her.
Okay. But Emma, you have lived with the disease for a long time. How many years now?
Since 2007.
That's a long time coming.
Yeah.
And you've met a lot of people who have the disease. When you met Mavis, I mean, what was it like? What did you tell her?
Well, I told her,
Did she panic? Was she panicking when you met her?
Well, I think she's one fortunate person because her father is a retired health worker. And even though he did not know what lupus was, he's very proactive, and you could see a father desperate to make sure his daughter lives. It was scary because he had mentioned that they had a loss in the family, and right after the loss, she started exhibiting the symptoms, and this same symptoms were manifested in the person that they lost. So it was scary for him, but he had to compose himself in order not to frighten her. And they had moved from hospital to hospital to hospital without knowing what the exact cause was. So I believe one of the passions for which we started Oyemam Foundation is to help others not to go through the same level of confusion, anxiety, anger, and all the negative emotions you can talk about that I went through. From people thinking I had gotten HIV because I was so skinny, my hair was falling out, I had sores, ulcers on my face, in my mouth, in my private part, everywhere you could think of.
But what is lupus, so that people understand what really lupus is? So if anybody is experiencing any of these signs and symptoms, then they can go to any health facility. Because like she mentioned, she had been to a number of health facilities, and nobody could readily diagnose. You also mentioned that her father had mentioned somebody died, and the person was exhibiting signs and symptoms. But a lot of people out there who probably have lupus and do not know what is lupus.
Lupus is basically an autoimmune disease. It is inflammatory. So when we say autoimmune, I believe everybody has a TV remote in their house or something that we can say is automatic. A lot of people are driving automatic cars now. The thing functions by itself. So when we say autoimmune, we have two separate words here, automatic and immune system. The immune system automatically generates sicknesses for you. How does it do that? It does that by attacking your healthy tissues and organs. And why does it do that? Because at a point, something triggers it to become confused and think that instead of attacking the malaria parasite or the TB causal organism, your kidney is that thing it needs to attack because probably the chemical structure or whatever looks similar to that. So it can attack different people differently because your situation is different from mine. Perhaps you are under so much stress from your work or from your relationship, or you've had a loss in your family and you have grieved to the extent where it has confused your immune system. Or you were a woman of color, and you have gotten pregnant. The stress on your body, not every woman's body is able to take stress from pregnancy. Some will do it through pregnancy, but someone through the process of childbirth itself can make you be diagnosed with lupus. And so within 15 to 44 years, a lot of women can get lupus. And so that is when a person's immune system fights itself, making the person fall sick. That is lupus. And as you said with her, it's still a very scary condition because there's no cure, and so you never know when you will have a flare and what will make you have the flare and to what extent it will impact your health or your life or the quality of your life. So yes, but we always try not to create alarm. We still try to, I tell people all the time, look, I thought I was going to die so many times. I went to bed without closing my eyes. I don't know how my eyes closed and how I woke up. But here I am because there's a God that is above lupus. So in as much as we're faced with these circumstances, choose to believe that He's able to keep you. And no matter what, if you should leave, enjoy the life that you have. So we always tell people there is hope. And that's the same thing I did with her. When the founder of her non-profit that she volunteers reached out to me that, hey, we have a volunteer going through lupus and we think your non-profit can help her. We reached out to her, tried to assist in that and let her know that there is hope. So it's not just the physical part, but we do the counseling, try to help with medications and sometimes even getting access to the medical care.
Is lupus common in Ghana? Very common in Ghana.
I would say it is, but it is not known, and so it's a silent killer. The person that she lost in her family was not diagnosed, so lupus will not be written as the cause of her death. But in reality, it could be, because here she has now been diagnosed because there has been some awareness from a medical professional who said, I think this might be that. Let me refer you.
So does it mean that it could be hereditary?
Hereditary, in a sense, but there is no
there's no science
agreement from science that that is the sole thing. But we realize that
lupus?
We realize that there are different factors that come into play when we're talking about the causes of lupus. So hereditary is part, hormones is part, because 90% of people who have lupus are women. So definitely that's a role that hormone plays, and especially those within their reproductive years. where our hormonal production is high. And then also we have the environmental factors that contribute to lupus. So, for instance, that's why I said everybody is different, and depending on your situation, some people can get the inflammatory response triggered on their skin just by exposure to UV light, either from the natural one or artificial UV light. It can trigger. Somebody can have, we have the neuropsychiatric impact of lupus. Whereas when we, in our culture, when we see people that are maybe dressed in certain way, misbehaving in certain way, we classify them as mentally retarded or mental health patients or whatever. But I dare to say that lupus makes a lot of people have mental conditions, but these are all invisible disabilities.
Lupus mimics a lot of things.
It mimics so many conditions, and so it is called the invisible disease, and it's a silent killer, because whilst fine, someone's on my show on their face in the form of the butterfly rash that comes across them, or scars. I have scars on my body from lupus, but mine, they are hidden. So I can dress up and it wouldn't look. And even the tiny ones on my legs, I can choose to wear my stockings or trousers and fine. But there are other people whose own have scars on their face or their skin, or their hair is gone physically. As you can see, I was losing a lot of hair, but I decided to lock it all in, and so I have my hair back. But there are others who have scars on their scalp, so the hair cannot even grow back. So everybody's own is different. Someone is going through dialysis for kidney failure, and you would not know that that is lupus. You will be blaming, oh, they have kidney disease, they have this, but actually what they're going through is called lupus nephritis, which is lupus making your kidney sick. There are people who have cardiovascular problems because it's lupus that is causing. This year, as we just celebrated World Lupus Day, there was a survey that was done in February to March by the World Lupus Federation, and it focused on the use of steroid for treating lupus and the impact that it has on patients. And would you believe that over 90% of lupus patients take steroids, which is a necessary evil because it is very efficient in reducing the symptoms. At the same time, more than 90% of these respondents, which were from over 108 countries, report that they have a major side effect from the use of steroids. And these include heart disease, osteoporosis, what do we call it? Skin problems. You have mood swings. You have so many kidney organ damage, different organ damage from the use of steroids. So you realize that this is a big problem, but in our setting, because we still, like she said, test to help diagnose lupus, you have to send the sample to South Africa, India, and this will definitely be more expensive than a test that you're running here in Ghana. So it makes it difficult to diagnose lupus. It's an expensive disease, in quotes, because if you don't have money, you can only do so much. At a point, all those that are supporting you feel the brunt of it, and then they give up on you. And so we're calling for support, and as the focus on steroids have been highlighted, we're raising awareness so that people can make the necessary lifestyle changes, so that even if you are vulnerable or you have a risk of having that disease because in your family history somebody has had a different type of autoimmune condition, which is a recipe that you may, if the necessary triggers are.
Is there a challenge with diagnosing autoimmune disorders or diseases in Ghana?
I believe there is a challenge, because even though the situation has changed as compared to when I started experiencing the symptom, there is still so much more to be done. We have limited specialists, but fortunately other doctors are being made aware to see how they can help, navigate the situation with other patients, like how she was referred. But you will still have to refer to see a specialist. And then also, so in terms of the human resource, the rheumatologists, who are the doctors, the trained doctors that diagnose lupus. Yes, we have a limited number of rheumatologists in Ghana, and we need more. We need more of our get funds to sponsor more medical students to specialize in this, because it's an expensive area of medicine. And then in terms of the lab work, the blood work that has to be done, we need to come to the point where we can do these tests in Ghana. And then we need to also have our national health authorities support lupus medications. Our medications are expensive. Sometimes lupus patients have to go through chemotherapy.
Really?
Oh, yes.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, wow. What's been society's response to lupus?
Very bad. When you tell someone that there's heat under my feet, the person will say, are you the only one feeling it? Like it's true.
Because people don't know that.
And sometimes people think it's a joke.
Yeah.
Look, lupus causes a lot of maternal mortality, but it's because there are no structures put in place in our different OPDs and things to pick it up. So we blame other conditions for it. We need our medications to be supported. And then apart from that, we also need lower doses of the steroid. This medication, prednisolone, is a common steroid we use in Ghana. And the lowest dose that ever since I started searching for it in Ghana, I have been able to get is 5 milligrams. In other countries, 5 milligrams is a very high dose that nobody would want to take unless your situation, you're having really bad flares. But this is what I take on a daily basis for maintenance. Perhaps I would have preferred to take just 1 milligram for maintenance, but because this is what we have, I have to be on this lowest dose. I've been on as high as 80 milligram before, at the time when I couldn't even open my jaws. And so your body becomes accustomed to this. So in case you're flaring, that means you have to use higher doses of, and this is the same thing that can cause heart problems and organ damage. So we are calling for the appropriate authorities to be able to make lower doses of prednisolone available in Ghana to help us. Yeah, this is, I take so many medications. I carried a whole box of medications here, but I decided to spare your audience. But this is basically my monthly medication container. So at the end of every month, I fill it up, except the medications that if I put in will melt. And then I do the weekly one as well.
That's a lot of medication.
And I do my daily ones. Oh, I've taken as much as 45 tablets in a day. And at the time I started, I was taking about 6,000 cedis worth of medication. And that was very daunting on a young lady who is working, who needs to make money, take care of herself, take care of your marriage and everything. That was done. And besides, it could not even take care of all the medications, plus lab tests, plus going for physiotherapy. And we're also calling for more empathy and awareness because, for instance, if you are working in an organization where you have timelines and you must be productive, and you dress so nicely to go to work, and your HR or your supervisor cannot read through your makeup to know that, look, the lady is having mental fog under that beautiful makeup. They will put undue pressure on you, and sometimes for fear that you may suffer some unintended victimization, people keep to themselves and suffer, and before it's too late, they have a different flare, because the lupus changes. It can come as a headache today, tomorrow it will come as something else.
But how can Oyemam Foundation be reached so that, I mean, people who want to support you, people who have conditions, who have symptoms like this, and they want to better understand, can reach?
Okay, so I think you can reach us on our social media platforms, Oyemam Autoimmune Foundation. We're on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, and also through our website, www.oyemam.org, or you can call 0546-196-276, and we will readily get in touch. But what I want everyone to take home is study your body. If your body talks, just like we're speaking, your body talks to
listen.
you. If you eat something and you don't feel right, that is one form of communication right there. So you need to try it. If you try it another time, you get the same discomfort. You should know your body is telling you, I don't like this anymore, even if this is what you have done your whole life. Now I don't like it. And then also try to avoid stress.
Okay.
And then also just try to drink a lot of water and seek help for unexplainable symptoms like losing weight, unexplained, just losing your hair, having some rashes on your skin or discolorations, stomach upset. Watch out for infections, because infections can trigger lupus as well. So basically, yes, the theme is make lupus visible, and we're counting on everyone to help make lupus visible. And thank you to GHOne for giving us the opportunity to raise awareness on lupus today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Sweetness. So that's Mrs. Emadan. So she's a founder of the Oyemam Autoimmune Foundation, and I've also had a patient living with lupus, Mavis. You can call her nice.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's it for Health Alert.